What's up, everyone? The Snowman here, and today I wanted to talk about VAR and its use in soccer. We've got the 2019 Women's World Cup going on right now in France, and there have already been a few controversial uses of VAR, so I wanted to talk about today my thoughts on it and how it is being implemented in the game. So let's start off. What is VAR? If you don't know, it is a review system that is meant to help the referees make the correct call, and there are 4 different instances that the refs can go to VAR. VAR can look at goals, determine if they are legitimate or not, can check to see, if offsides or fouls affect goals. It can give them or take them away. Number 2, VAR can also give out penalties. Very common use of VAR is something a penalty. Does a handball, a foul affect something in the box, and do it like that. Number 3, direct red cards. Maybe the ref missed a blatant call, a harsh challenge with the studs up, a slap across the face. Maybe Luis Suarez bit someone. They can review that and dole out a straight red card. And then finally, VAR can review mistaken identity just to make sure they give a foul or a card out to the correct player. So FIFA first used VAR back at the 2018 Men's World Cup in Russia, and it has had some controversial moments so far. But that's natural in my opinion. Soccer or football, it's a very quick game. One of the only sports with a continuous running clock, so the time never stops. There's a real sense of urgency. Stoppages are very discouraged. The referees want to keep things moving as quickly as possible. You got to make quick calls, but VAR is simply helping the referees make the correct call. So as long as you go back and add more stoppage time in the end, I have no problem with it. I want to talk about a few instances where VAR has been used at the 2019 Women's World Cup. And actually, right in the opening game, it was implemented. France versus South Korea, where a French defender, Guigui Mbok-Bati, had a goal disallowed because she was about a foot off sides. So that goal was taken away from France. We also had it used Spain versus South Africa. VAR awarded Spain a penalty and gave South Africa's Notando Vilakazi her second yellow of the game because of a dirty follow-through foul tackle in the box. So Spain got the penalty there. We also saw it used in England versus Scotland. England got a penalty in the 14th minute because there was a clear-as-day handball that was missed in the box. So I think that was a great use of it there. And then we also saw maybe the most controversial use thus far, Australia versus Brazil. Australia got a goal given to them. Sam Kerr was clearly offsides, and you could see it in the review on a Brazil own goal. But after the referees, VAR reviewed it, they said that Kerr did not affect the play. So they did award a goal for the Australians. So if you have a problem with any of these, I'd love to hear them, but I have no problem. The offsides call, that was objectively corrected. The handball was objectively fixed. That is a thing you can't argue with. The offsides now against Sam Kerr and maybe the follow-through tackle against the South African player, those are more subjective things, so I understand that we don't want this to become like the end of basketball games where sometimes the last 2 minutes drag on, and we know especially college basketball games can take a long time to finish. But what I love about VAR is it's very swift justice, and the referee only gets notified if VAR, if the guys in the booth deem it important or something that was clearly missed. So I'd rather have just a few more reviews per game than wasting a minute or two per game to check things out and then adding it back on later, rather than missing blatant calls. Like a couple of examples come to mind for me. The 2010 Men's World Cup in South Africa, we had a game England versus Germany, and Frank Lampard scored a clear-as-day goal against the Germans, against Manuel Neuer, and the referees did not realize that the ball went across the line. We didn't have goal line technology back in 2010, so Lampard and the English did not get a goal there. They ended up losing that game 4-1, I believe. And then also Argentina versus Mexico, we had Carlos Tevez scored one of the most egregious goals I've ever seen. He was multiple yards offsides. They were not able to review it, though, so they counted the goal. And what makes those two calls even worse is that both of those games were knockout stage games. So you're talking about the World Cup, the biggest stage of these athletes' lives. And for them to get robbed in both of those scenarios, I think it's a crime. And I'm completely fine with VAR, like I said, going back and looking at things, taking their time when necessary, as long as it just does not snowball into a thing where we're reviewing every nitpicky kind of call. But they're going to add the time back. It's going to be okay. VAR is good. I promise. I have heard some quips about the handball rule. Maybe we need to change that. I get not all penalties are created equal. Does maybe a handball at the corner of the 18-yard box where it's off a cross and it's not 100% clear goal-scoring chance, should we be giving penalties for every handball in the box? I don't know. It's not like every handball is a situation like in the 2010 World Cup where Luis Suarez clearly intentionally blocked a shot with his hand to literally save it. So not all penalties are created equal. I get that, but that's a handball rule thing, and the offsides thing with Sam Kerr, that's a rule thing. So if you have a problem with how the referees are interpreting these rules now, both with offsides or handballs, I think that's a completely other argument to be made. But VAR in itself, there really shouldn't be any controversy, in my opinion. It's being used in the correct way, and we are mitigating the amount of errors seen in these high-stakes, high-drama games, and that is the most important thing. So if you have a problem with the choppiness or the breaking of the rhythm, I'm sorry, but these soccer players have been waiting their whole lives for moments like these, and I think VAR is doing the correct thing. So please let me know your thoughts, if you dislike how VAR works. I definitely think it's going to be around for a while, so may as well get used to it. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media. And thank you so much. I'll be back very soon. Cheers.